This was not a suicide, this was a murder.
14 years after her mother's death, still so many unanswered questions. Meantime, a witness in the case is dead, and his family is speaking out.
After he became a witness, he had everything to lose. You know, the harassment by some of the people in the police force, the nonstop intimidation.
It was January 2010 when Joanne Matouk-Romaine walked out of a Grosse Pointe Farms church on a very cold winter night.
The police say the mother of three walked across the street and into Lake St. Clair to kill herself.
Family believes she was murdered. Her body was dumped in the water. It was found about 70 days later. Joanne, she had no water in her lungs, and that is what has really brought up a lot of suspicions. Autopsy reports called it a dry drowning. Now, tonight, more people speaking out on this case.
Paul was an honest person. He wouldn't make anything up. He wouldn't embellish. And his story never varied.
That is John Aboud. He's talking about his friend Paul Hawk. People close to the case of Joanne Matouk-Romaine know the name Paul Hawk. It was Hawk who claimed he saw something the night Joanne went missing.
What did he say to you about what he saw?
He really didn't say much. You know, he wanted to keep me out of the loop. He says it would protect me.
We can tell you what we found in court paperwork signed by Paul Hawk, a signed statement in an affidavit filed in the civil case on behalf of Joanne's family, where Hawk states on the night of January 12, 2010, when Joanne went missing, he saw a heavy woman dressed in all black sitting on the break wall of Lake St. Clair. He went on to state he saw two vehicles on Lakeshore Drive with two men standing near the cars. One motioned to drive through. Hawk's affidavit was stricken by the judge in the civil case, not allowed as evidence. Was Hawk right? Police did not deem him credible. Later, Hawk would complain about being harassed by police as they held SWAT training outside of his home. Hawk telling family he was being harassed.
This is my brother Paul, who had been involved in this case as a witness and put up with a lot of pressure from the involved parties for years. Stood strong through all of it. Always told the truth, did the right thing, and he died unexpectedly. He was healthy. Lots of the details of the case didn't match up. And when Paul heard about it and he went to the police, they were almost trying to convince him not to do a citizen's report. And after he became a witness, he had everything to lose. The harassment by some of the people in the police force, the nonstop intimidation, parking outside of his house, showing up at his door, phone calls. It would have been easier for him to just say, hey, it's not my problem. I didn't know this person.
We're standing here. This is the church where your mom was last seen. And it's 14 years later. What do you think? How do you feel?
We have a lot of, questions, I think, answered, through just evidence-based, through courts, through witnesses, but we don't have an arrest, and we want justice. Anybody that is involved or talking about this case fears for themselves as well.
We had interviews scheduled today and they canceled.
Yes.
And what did they tell you?
That they fear for their lives. As a daughter, I've done everything that I could possibly do, to bring this case forward and to show that, this was not a suicide, this was a murder, and we need to continue to put that at the forefront and let the citizens of the community know that as well.
This is pretty unheard of. There's a $200,000 reward in this case. We posted information on our website. Now, I've done extensive reporting on this story, including an investigative special. Secrets of a Small Town is streaming live on Local 4 Plus tonight at 8 o'clock. We have extended new interviews on the case. You can watch it anytime after that by clicking on the New Releases tab. You can find the Local 4 Plus app anywhere you get your streaming channels like Netflix and Roku.